everyone, welcome to Office Hours. My name is Ariella and I'm one of the career support specialists here at Work It Daily. So I'm inside of our platform every single day working with clients, helping them with their resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, and any other questions they have. So excited to be here for Office Hours with you guys and excited to answer your questions. For those of you who are new, we do Office Hours every week on Wednesdays from 1 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I typically do a kind of a topic to kick things off, get those ideas kind of going, and then I'll get to like questions at the end. And if you do have a question, if you could just put the question part in all caps and then put your question, that would be great. It just helps us find those questions easier because we do get a lot of them, which is great, but sometimes it gets a little crazy in the chat, which is awesome. But definitely, it helps you stand out, helps your questions stand out. And that also leads me to the fact that we do get a lot of questions in the chat and during office hours, and since it is only a 30-minute session with that topic at the beginning half, we can't always answer every question, but if you do want to make sure that you get your questions answered, be sure to join us inside Work It Daily because we will always answer your questions inside the platform. Okay, so just want to give you that heads up. All right, let's see who is here. All right, hopping into the chat. Hi, Mrs. H. Hi, Faran. Hi, Tanae. Awesome. Patrick, Erica, Cynthia, Agnes. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Great. So I have a really fun topic today, and I think it's going to be helpful. I'm actually in the process of working with the team here to build a brand new course inside of Work It Daily about how to find that right fit job for you and your skill sets and your interests and everything like that. We have a lot of amazing courses inside Work It Daily, but this one's going to be very targeted on really focusing on what type of job, what kind of level of job really suits your needs and your specialties. So I kind of want to go over a little bit today about what you need to be doing or thinking about when you're looking for that next job, making that next career move. What does that next job look like for you? So I want to kind of jump into a few things that you should be considering, that you should be doing at that point in the process, okay? It's just kind of like a little teaser to that course that we'll be rolling out in the next few months, which is very exciting. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. So I'm going to hop in and then get your questions ready. I'll get to those after I kind of go over this topic. Of course, if you have any questions related to this, please let me know, but other questions are also welcome. All right, so if you're in the process of looking for a new job, but you're not really sure what kind of job you should be going for, or you're falling back on the same type of job, even though you know it's not really what makes you happy, it's not really speaking to your specialties, to your strengths, to your skills, it's really important for you to kind of take some time to think about what it is that you really will excel in, what types of jobs are really exciting to you, and considering industries and different companies and so on. So I just want to kind of go over a few things that you should be doing. So the first thing that you should be doing when you're looking for a new job is to inventory your skill sets. Understand what your strengths are and what skills you really enjoy using on the job. So maybe you really are great at project management, customer service, administrative support. If you're good at like planning, scheduling, just organizing things, think about those skills that you really love using on the job and make a list. Like I tell people, think about the first 3 skill sets that come to mind that you love using. All right, and then kind of build off of those until you have about 10 skill sets that you can really focus in on and kind of create your niche, your strengths, your specialties, okay? If you're having a hard time doing this, kind of backtrack and think about your favorite job and think about the projects or tasks that you worked on that you really loved working on. Okay, and then backtrack and think about the actual hard job specific skills you had to use in order to do those projects to complete those tasks. So if you're having trouble just kind of listing out what skills you enjoy using, try it that way. Try going backwards and think about, man, I loved working on that project. Why did I like working on that project? What skills did I have to use in that task, in that area? That can help you kind of narrow that down and inventory those top skills. Okay, so inventory those skills, number 1. The second thing you need to do is to really get clear on that service that you provide as a business of one. So as a professional, you are a service provider to your employer, okay? You're providing a service, right? And they're paying you for that service. So you are considered a business of one. That's what we tell people inside Work It Daily. You are a brand, you're a business of one, you're offering a service that either saves or makes a company money, okay? So if you're unclear on that service that you provide, it's going to be really hard for you to market yourself to employers and to even understand what kind of job or role you want to play within an organization. So it's really important for you to get clear on this service that you want to provide. So whether it's designing graphics for marketing materials, selling products to customers, managing projects with big budgets, you really want to get clear on what is that service that you provide? What is that thing that you do? How do you offer value, okay, using your skill sets? So, for example, if you let's say you worked in marketing for 10 years at an agency doing account management and you really love it. You love your job. You love the skill sets that you're using in this job. So this is essentially the service that you're providing. You're providing account management, right, for a marketing agency. That's the service that you provide. Okay, so this is how you're saving and making this company money. Okay, you're managing clients so they keep spending their budgets on your agency as opposed to going somewhere else, right? You're keeping those projects organized so your clients are happy so they continue to stay, right? So this is the service you provide in this case. You're an account management provider, right? Like you provide this service to employers. So it's really important for you to get clear on that. And I will say that just because you're working in a certain job now doesn't mean that that has to be the service that you provide in that next opportunity. This goes back to that beginning piece where you need to leverage and thinking about what skills you want to be leveraging in the next role. So maybe account management is something that you did and you gained some other skills, but you found out maybe you don't like working with clients, but maybe you love managing projects. Okay, so you bring those skill sets and that's the service that you're going to be providing moving forward. So it's really important for you to really get a clear sense of what skills and strengths you want to leverage and then figure out what is that service that you're going to be providing to employers based on your career history, based on those skill sets that you've earned over the course of your career. Okay, so then once you understand this, you'll be able to look for jobs more effectively because you'll understand exactly what role you're going to be playing within, this new opportunity. Okay, so getting clear on that service. The third thing you want to do is to choose the best type of job for you. Okay, so what role do you want this type of job to play in your career? Like think about, again, back to your strengths, to your skill sets. What's the best type of opportunity for you? Would you rather be like an individual contributor, like a consultant? Would you rather have some kind of specialization, so like graphic designer? Do you want to be a manager? Not everybody wants to be a manager. So thinking about what kinds of roles you want to be playing within an organization. Executive, obviously this will take more years of experience, but thinking about what level, what type of job, what category you want to fall into so you can really narrow down those opportunities. Because if you really hate managing people, if that's really not your strength, don't go to roles that have manager or management in the title because it's going to force you to use a skill set that you A, don't have, or B, just don't want to leverage, right? So maybe you would focus more on like a professional specialist type of opportunity instead, okay? That doesn't mean that you can't, get promoted or get to a higher level role. It just means maybe you're just not management material. So it's important to understand what type of category you want to fall into here, okay? So that way you're looking for the right opportunities for you and your skill sets. All right, so that brings me to the level of job that you should be considering. So before you start looking, you really want to take kind of a glance at that resume that you have and understand exactly how many years of professional experience you have to offer. Okay, so that way you're not going for jobs that you're either underqualified for or overqualified for, and you're really targeting the right type of opportunity for you and your skills and your experience in general. So obviously every company, every industry has different levels. It actually can be very confusing sometimes, but we typically have the following kind of levels we use this as kind of our base in terms of helping people figure out what type of level they want to be going for. So if you're like going for like a professional or specialist role, so like, customer service representative, graphic designer, marketing coordinator, something like that, you want to be thinking about like 0 to 2 years experience, that's kind of entry level. That's pretty entry level work. So that would be if you're just graduating from college or you're really at the beginning of your career, this is obviously entry level. 2 to 5 years of experience, that's more intermediate. So thinking about 2 to 5 years of experience, is that where you fall? Is this kind of like the second opportunity that you're pursuing in your career? And 5 to 8 years is more of a senior role where you have extensive experience in this type of job, this type of work. You've got industry expertise. This is really where you'll probably fall if you've got, this is more like your third, fourth type of job, okay? Now, in terms of management, our rule of thumb is like 3 to 5 is like first level management, 5 to 8 is middle management, and 8+ is senior management. So thinking about that is kind of using that as your base. Again, every company, every industry has a different kind of system in terms of how many years of experience they need. They might have different needs in general. So, don't take this as, complete fact. This is just kind of our base here. But the point is you do want to understand where you fall in general so you can be looking at the types of opportunities that really align with your level of experience. So that way you're really not wasting time going for jobs that aren't really a fit for your level. Okay, so it's really important that you do that. Okay, so the next thing you want to be considering is the industries that interest you. So obviously you can really enjoy a job, and it doesn't matter what type of industry it is, but if you really excel in, account management, you probably will be fine in, a variety of industries. But if you can find an industry that you're really excited about, that you have some kind of interest in, it resonates with you for some reason, or it fascinates you, that's obviously going to make it much more fun, much more satisfying, and it's more in alignment with what you want to be doing, right? So, think about industries that, can spark your interest. So maybe you've always wanted to work in marketing, the marketing industry, or maybe you wanted to work in the wine industry. Think about what it is that interests you in terms of the industries. And that can actually help you narrow down, some companies later, types of opportunities, but it can really allow you to open your eyes to a new set of roles that you might not have considered before because you're very stuck in, one industry. I know people who are, it's marketing, they're stuck in that industry. They feel like they can't break out of it. That's not true necessarily. But if you just kind of open your eyes to like what else is out there and understand that you have a wide variety of areas and expertise or specialties that you can kind of be jumping into, can help you figure out new opportunities, find different companies that excite you, and so on. So don't discount industries, right? So really take them into consideration if there's one industry that you're really excited about. Like if you really want to get into the IT industry and you're in marketing, just because you've been in marketing for 10 years doesn't mean you can't hop over, okay? It can be done. So definitely take that into consideration when you're looking for other opportunities. All right, and this is one that we talk about all the time when you're looking for jobs, is to really target companies that resonate with you, okay? So understand what companies in your area really excite you, or companies that you respect, appreciate, or admire, okay? So what is it about them that make you feel that way? Why would you be proud to work there? This is really going to help you, again, narrow down where you can find these types of jobs that will get you excited to go to work every day because you're representing an organization or you're in an industry that you're really proud of and you want to brag about. So this can help you kind of narrow down that good fit opportunity, okay? And more importantly, it can allow you to really target your job search efforts, right? So instead of just blindly applying to opportunities that, great, it's a perfect type of job for you, it's a perfect role, you've got the right experience, and you're just applying online blindly, you don't know anything about the company. If you go to a company that you feel like you'd be excited to work for, you instantly have a connection there. And you can have conversations with the employees there. You can start networking your way in. They'll understand that you're a huge fan of their organization, and you might be able to get some people to recommend you for opportunities, refer you to jobs, or even just give you some insight into opportunities that haven't been posted yet, which is awesome, because if there's a company out there that you really want to work for, and they have an opportunity that they feel like is a perfect fit for you, win-win, right? So it's important to take this into consideration for sure. All right, the last thing I want to mention here, because I feel like this is such a key piece of your job search journey, is to pull all of this together and make it into a personal branding statement. Okay, so this is going to act in so many different ways in your job search. It's going to be kind of like a guide for you. You know, it's your direction. It's going to help people understand exactly what you do, how you do it, and what you're looking to do next. It's going to help you understand how to, you know, not only introduce yourself at networking events. It's going to be, you know, how you're going to answer the "tell me about yourself" question. It's going to go into your LinkedIn summary on your profile. So many reasons to have a personal branding statement, but you really have to have all the information before to really pull all of this together. Okay, so let me just give you a quick example here. So using that account manager type of role that we talked about earlier, as an account manager, I make sure all my clients are satisfied with the products and services they're buying from my organization. I do this by managing their projects, working with my team to make sure every detail is perfect, and keeping my clients in the loop so they feel connected to the work that's being done. In the future, I'd like to bring my skills and expertise in account management to a marketing agency that specializes in the wine industry, right? So this is totally just an example here, but you see how we kind of combine so many of those elements that you did, like you kind of built up to this point. So it really is like your direction, like this is the service that you provide. These are the skill sets you use in order to do that, you know, provide that service and do it well. And this is the direction they want to move into next, right? So it's giving you clarity, and it's also allowing you to articulate exactly, again, that service, those skills, and that next move, you know, effectively to those companies that you're pursuing. Okay, so it really organizes all of this, not only for you, but for those other people who want to understand all of those things. So I know that was a ton of information, but I hope it was helpful. If you are really struggling to figure out what that next move is, really take these things into consideration, because they really can help you narrow down what that next job is going to look like, and it's going to help you figure out what's the best opportunity for you, what's going to be the most satisfying and you know, exciting for you in that next move you're going to make. Okay, so if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. But I will jump into the chat here and see what we have in terms of other questions. Ooh, lots of good questions today. All right, so question, is the 7-day trial still available? Great question. So it is technically still available, but we were actually doing like a trial run of this, so it might not be available for long. So if you guys want to definitely check it out, feel free to do that, but I can't guarantee it's going to stick around because we were just kind of testing it out. So if you're curious about what we do inside Work It Daily, definitely take advantage of that now if you want to get inside there and see what we're all about. Question, apart from LinkedIn Learning, are there any resources available that can help me build my technical skills without costing an arm and a leg? Great questions. Yes. So, you know, go to you know, online course sites like Udemy or Skillshare. Also, you know, consider like in-person workshops or classes in your area. There are so many ways to build skills and expertise in, you know, a different industry or, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to learn. But there are so many opportunities, so many resources out there online. You know, Coursera. I would just Google kind of like figure out what skill you want to learn and just essentially Google that and like say like courses or workshops or training, online training, because there are so many niche areas, companies, websites that provide this type of thing. And while some of them are expensive, there are other, you know, things like Udemy is pretty affordable, Skillshare is pretty affordable, and it can really help you to get that insight that you need to, you know, kind of make that next level, or to show an employer that you're interested in this type of, you know, work or industry. It's gonna, you know, really help you up your game a little bit more. So I would just kind of do some research online and see what you can find on there. Again, there are online trainings, certifications, you know, think about workshops in addition to like Udemy or Skillshare. Awesome. All right. Question, how do I apply for a job when I don't have experience, but I've studied that area in university? Great question, and graduation is coming up, so this is a very popular question inside Work It Daily right now. So what you're going to want to do is, especially this, you have an advantage here because you did you study this kind of area, whereas there are a lot of people who graduate and they decide, I don't really want to go into this field. I want to pursue something different. So there's absolutely like no industry expertise there. So they have that added element of challenge. But for you, at least you have this kind of knowledge, this base to work off. So I would definitely highlight, some of the courses, some of the projects that you worked on in terms of how they relate to this type of work. But I think the biggest thing that recent grads should be doing when they don't really have a ton of experience is to really focus on their networking. If you can show employers, people who are working at organizations that you're excited, you're passionate about this type of work, this industry, you're really ready to go and start working, you can really get your foot in the door. So it's important for you to, again, get clear on that personal branding statement, understand where you want to be adding value and what skills you want to be leveraging, and kind of focus on building those relationships with people so they can understand that this is something that you're excited about, you're willing to take that next step in this field, and you just want to get some advice on how to do that. And if they can help you with that, they're going to, right? So, as an entry-level person, again, we just talked about this, 0 to 2 years of experience for most cases, but obviously, if you're competing against someone who has a little base, a 1-year experience, it's going to be more challenging. But if you can kind of show them that passion, that enthusiasm, and that professionalism beforehand, they're going to say, well, this person is so passionate about this type of work, just trying to get his or her foot in the door, maybe we should give them a chance. So really focus on the networking strategy. And we have a great in-depth course inside Work It Daily that will help you with this. If you need, templates or strategy or anything like that, networking can be a really scary and challenging at first, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And it really, truly is the best way to land opportunities when you have little to no experience. Great question, and good luck. All right. Let's see. All right, question. What is a good answer after being laid off and having a gap between jobs? So great question. So we actually have a really great video on our YouTube channel about how to explain why you left your last job. And I would definitely check it out if you haven't already. But essentially what you want to do in this case is to use what we call the experience plus learn equals grow kind of method when you're explaining this. So, explain what happened, you got laid off, understand, how what you learned from this experience, how can you grow from this experience, and, really articulate why you're going to use this experience and this lesson to be a better employee in the future, and why you're so excited to get back into the workforce, get back into using your skills and contributing your expertise. So using that format to answer, why did you leave this last job? Why do you have a gap on this, on your resume? Can you explain that? You really want to kind of be honest, but, obviously don't go into too much detail, but just say, this is what happened. This is what I learned from the experience. And this is why I've grown and why it's going to make me a better employee in the future. Okay, so definitely check out that video on our YouTube page because it has some good examples in there that you can kind of work off of. But, this is something we deal with all the time. This is a really popular question, probably a top 5. So I would definitely, use this. It's really helped a lot of people kind of get past this obstacle in terms of, getting fired, getting laid off, having a gap. Okay. Great question. All right. Question, what does fit mean in a job search? Finding that right job fit. I think you might have touched on this already, but not sure. So yeah, so when, you want to find a job that fits your skill sets, fits your interests, gets you excited. If you can go into a job and you can be skilled in some areas and you can be doing okay in that job, but if you really want to find a job that you're excited about, you want to brag about, you're going to excel in, you want to find a job that, again, aligns with your skill sets, your top skill sets that you want to leverage, your interests, all these things that we just discussed, because it's going to not only allow you to be more happy at work. It's going to allow you to be a better contributor at work and excel in your career and really be proud of what you're doing. And it's also going to make it easier for you to stay in this opportunity longer. Your employer's going to appreciate your efforts because you appreciate, it's kind of like a mutual appreciation here. You love the job that you do, they love the contributions that you're providing. So it really kind of works together, and it really helps you to thrive in your career if you can find a job that really meets all these things. And obviously you're going to probably have to take on jobs that aren't a perfect fit, especially early on in your career, or if you're making a career change, you're probably going to have to start a little bit lower. It's not going to check off all the boxes, but you really want to be thinking about these things in terms of building blocks so you can get to that perfect fit job. Right? So you can build those skills to get you there. So you can gain the expertise to get you there. You can kind of build a foundation. So obviously not every job's going to be perfect, but if you can take away something that's going to allow you to progress further towards that dream job, to that perfect fit job, it's going to be worth it in the end most times. So I hope that helps, but it's really important, to have this kind of idea of like, this is the type of job I should be going for because these are the skills that I want to leverage, this is the kind of work I want to be doing, and this is how I want to be contributing on a daily basis. So that way you can really kind of work backwards and say, okay, what do I need to get there? What jobs should I be taking on in order to get to that perfect job? I hope that helps. All right. All right, so question, how do I reapply to a former employer after 1 year of resigning without appearing desperate, at the same time being real in your interest to rejoin the company? So the first thing you want to do is see if you're re-eligible or you're eligible for rehire there. So you're going to want to call up the HR department and ask them if you are eligible to do this. If so, I would check in with your contacts, your colleagues there, and say, look, I'm so excited to kind of rejoin this company. Obviously, I really loved working there. You are going to probably have to use that experience, learn, grow method to kind of say, okay, well, this is why I left. These are the lessons I learned, and this is why I'm going to take these lessons, and this is why it's going to make me a better employee now at this company. Because you're going to want to I don't know how you left this. I don't know where you stand with this company or your colleagues, but they're probably going to be saying, this person resigned, why are they coming back now? So you're going to have some kind of explanation for that. So definitely check out that video to explain why you left a last job, because it really does apply to situations like this as well, because you are going to have to explain this. You're going to have to, ease their concerns. The concern from the employer being, is this person going to resign again if there's a better opportunity out there? How are you going to ease that concern, right? So definitely check out that video. Definitely call up HR and see if you're eligible for rehire at first, just to make sure that, you can actually go back in the first place. So I hope that helps. All right. Let's see. Question, I have 1 job offer, expecting a second, and 2 interviews tomorrow. Wow, that's awesome. I have never been in this position. It's nerve-wracking. Any suggestions about juggling several offers at once? Thanks. Yes, actually. So very exciting, also very stressful, obviously. But what you're going to want to do is, I'm not sure where you stand with this other job offer or which one you really want more, but what you're going to want to do is, since you have a job offer lined up, you're going to want to send an email to those other opportunities saying, I received a job offer, but I really want to work for your company. This is actually my dream opportunity, and I was just wondering if there's any way for us to expedite this process. I have a few days to kind of look over the opportunity, but I would really love to work for your company, if given the chance, right? So you kind of see if they can expedite that process. Really, again, explain that this is the opportunity that you want, the one that you're talking to, you're emailing, so that way they don't feel like, oh, well, they're just trying to use this as leverage. No, explain I got another opportunity, but in all honesty, I want to be with you guys because I feel like my interests align with yours. So I just wanted to see if there's any way we could expedite this process, because I would love to learn more about how to contribute to your company and if this is really a fit. Now, the safe thing to do is to accept the job, and then kind of work through the other opportunities to see where they go. And if you feel like one of the opportunities is better, you can always rescind your offer or whatever and decline the offer and then end up taking the other one. But that will burn the bridge with that company that you decide to go with initially. So you want to keep that in mind. But that is the safe route to go if you're thinking about yourself here and saying like, well, I'm going to secure this in the event that these three don't work out. But if one of them does end up working out, it just takes a little longer, you can always decline that initial offer and go over here. But do keep in mind that will probably burn the bridge. Okay, so I hope that helps, and good luck. And that's so exciting that there are so many opportunities out there. That's great. Woo. Awesome. Well, it is 1:30, so I can't believe how quickly this session went by, but I'm sorry I couldn't answer all of your questions. But if you do have questions that you really need to get answered, definitely check us out inside Work It Daily. It's a really cool platform, and you will get your questions answered, guaranteed. So be sure to join us next week, next Wednesday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be here, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. All right.